What's up, guys? It's Coach Hop. Today I want to talk about velocity-based training, how we use it, what is it, and why I would never use it with youth athletes. So I think it's important to talk about what is velocity-based training before we go into why I wouldn't use it with youth athletes. Basically, velocity-based training is monitoring the speed of movement, either with your body, just unloaded sprinting, or with a weighted implement, trying to move it as fast as possible. You can use that combination of speed of movement and load to determine what kind of power output you have, and to be specific with the training quality, whether it's power, speed, specific strength that you're trying to develop. So in that way, it's really awesome. Once we've gotten beyond the general qualities and we've got some skills with the barbells and stuff like that, we can start to get a little bit more creative and specific with the training. It's based on the idea that every weight that we're gonna move is gonna be moved as fast as possible, so we can really say that weight dictates the acceleration. Let's talk about why that might not be good for a younger athlete. Well, in all exercises, we have a primary mover muscle group or complex. We have a muscle group or complex that's usually trying to stabilize a segment of the body to make the stress more local to the primary movers. And then we have muscles, depending on the exercise, that are just there to connect the load to our body. So if it's a power clean or a deadlift, all of the muscles from our hands all the way up to our shoulder blades on top of our back are there to connect us to the load, right? So not every muscle group is a primary mover. It's important that when we train exercises based on what we're trying to get done with speed, power, and strength, that we're driving that quality towards the primary movers. So it becomes a lot less about, can I do the lift and how can I do the lift? When you have youth athletes that don't have a lot of experience, they've not had the time to acquire the skills in order to be particular with how they do the lift. We can't be sure that we're getting the actual training effect we want. If you're just measuring bar speed and you've got a strong young kid, they can make the barbell move pretty fast. It may not be that they're doing it the way you want it, and so you have a little bit of muddy water in terms of training information. It's still really good, they're still producing force, but they'd probably be a little bit better if they worked on timing, technique, and accuracy and stuff like that before they ever get into like, hey, how fast can I absolutely move this particular weight? All that stuff is going to change really quickly with early trainees. So if you set a load velocity profile, it may change. So unless you're going to rewrite that all the time, you may just want to just lift weights and get better and get more tangible gains in terms of weight on the barbell and quality of movement and proficiency and stuff like that. Raw intent is really important with the kids. It's something that you have to develop in terms of a neural quality. A lot of kids are kind of loose. When you see them try to be powerful, they're kind of wiggly. That's a pretty good indication that if you were to stabilize their body just through good strength training and time spent with good co-contraction around their joints and learning how to coordinate that stuff, that you get a little bit more out of your power training later on. I think it's a really big note. Some things that I really like about it with advanced trainees, you can get really specific. If you have people that are going through really monotonous training, it can be really boring. It can be really tiring. It doesn't mean that they don't have to try. You don't want someone to be able to sandbag a workout that we would deem more critical from a developmental standpoint, so you can always monitor it. If you can tell, look, someone is training really hard, usually they can lift X weight at this speed, but today they just don't have it. You can adjust that and you can bring it down to an area where they're still training the quality and they're getting the training effect that you'd like. In that way, it's a perfect tool. So we have an auto-regulation tool, we have an accountability tool, and we have something that helps us be really well directed with our training. So there, you kind of see what I'm talking about. It's a really great tool. I wouldn't use it with the young ones. That is not to say that I don't think young kids should lift weights and work on power and speed and strength. I just think they're going to do it with a little bit more simpler method, just sprinting, just working on body control, just learning the lifts that you may want to use velocity-based training with later on is where they really are. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comment section below. Guys, it would really help if you subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, if you click on this video, We'd love to see you next time. Until then, let's get it.